I trust you are doing very well today.
Oh, the only two that have joined the group. The meeting. Alright, did you bring my handbag down? You bring my handbag down. I need my glasses. I'll be stay inside that bag. Victor, send me a escort. Where is the car? Send me a escort already to the car because I need my glasses. Okay.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. You're welcome. Thank you for joining me once again. Okay. You're all welcome. Thank you for joining class today. I trust we are doing very well. Since this week, it has really been a hectic one for many of us. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we are going to be starting anytime soon. For those who are on Zoom with me, you are all welcome. Please, my apologies for those that left their mic on earlier. Please kindly mute yourself. I'll let you know whenever you have question. I will let you know when to unmute yourself, then ask your question. Right. So you're welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. Let's just give a little time to others. They will be joining us very soon, shortly. Okay. Thank you. We have some persons on YouTube. Thank you for joining. If you can watch on YouTube, do it to watch on YouTube. But for others who have questions, maybe they are pressing question you want to ask, you can join on Zoom if you're on YouTube here watching. Okay, we are starting now because I don't want us to waste time. Okay, you are all welcome. So I just received the news a few minutes back from our instructor. He's currently having a video shoot in his office. So from his calculations, he should have been with us here today. So he's asked me to talk to us that he will not be available, but if it's possible, we can reschedule him for him to be available tomorrow. The same time, that is 8:30. So I'm going to be covering up this night. Normally, what is expected is that we just reschedule the class, cancel his class, but I don't want to do that. I don't want us to cancel any class. What will happen, any class that anyone of the instructors is not able to meet up with, I will cover up with something because we have a whole lot to learn. There are many things to learn. So thank you everyone for joining. Some person asked question today and I've not responded to the questions on our WhatsApp group. I'm going to do that before the end of today. So you are all welcome. In Jesus' name. So I believe other persons are joining us soon. So I'll just start exactly once it's 8:35. I'm starting the class. So you are all welcome. for those joining us now, Mr. Henry Adedeji, that is our instructor that took the last class last week. He will not be able to make it to class this week. So please pardon me and pardon him also. He's having a video shoot in his office. He's still in his office now, shooting at in his workplace. So he's supposed to be here. From his calculation, he planned being here with us, but from the look of things, he won't be able to make it. So he's asked me to talk to us about that, and then also ask for you put to pardon him. He will be available for class tomorrow. He's requesting that we should reschedule his session tomorrow, the same time, which is 8:30 Nigerian time. So once it's 8:30 tomorrow, he will be available with us. Pardon us for this whole thing. So I'm going to cover it up for him this night. Since the thing came suddenly, I got the message from him a few minutes back while I was setting up for the class. So I'm going to be teaching us CapCut. Yes, I'm going to be teaching us CapCut. So when he comes tomorrow, he will continue with Premiere Pro. So I'm going to be teaching us CapCut. And the basic thing is video editing is the same principle. We have the same principle, but both CapCut, Premiere Pro, all the softwares, they are just the tools for editing. So, but the same principle applies. So I'm just going to be introducing us to CapCut for those that use laptop to edit. And there's limitation editing on CapCut with phone, but if that is what you have available, I will not ask you to stop, continue. But if you have access to a computer, that is what I'm going to be teaching. And I will recommend, if you have the leverage to have a computer to edit your work, use computer to either design or edit. Even your live streaming is better. You have more features to use, to play with, and all that. So I believe we are going to be starting now. Let me just confirm those on YouTube. You're welcome, everyone. Okay, thank you so much. Winners Chapel, you asked a question. I will respond to you this night, please. I'm so sorry for that. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining. We are starting now. Like I shared the Zoom link. If you have a challenge in your church, you have a challenge that you're battling with, you want to ask questions verbally, just go back to the group and join this call with Zoom if you have access to Zoom. If not, you can still ask your question on the comment section. I'll respond to it. So I want to introduce us to CapCut, right? So let's just pray. Lord, thank you for your mercies over us. It's a privilege we have to learn once again at your feet. Thank you, Holy Spirit of God. We ask that you help us, teach us, even as we study together. Give us retentive memory and make this whole thing easy for us. In the mighty name of Jesus. Amen and amen. Okay, you're welcome. Thank you so much, everyone. So let me quickly share my screen. Let me quickly share my screen so we can learn together. Let me quickly share my screen. Here's my CapCut. Okay. Okay, this is my CapCut. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining class once again. So this is my CapCut interface. This is my CapCut interface, and this is what I'm sharing with us. And I believe we are all together. Okay, thank you for those that are joining. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, thank you so much. We are starting now. Just confirming how many persons we have online. If you know you've not liked the video, those on YouTube, kindly like the video. And if you've not subscribed to the channel, also subscribe so that this video will have more visibility for others. So you are all welcome. So I'm going to be explaining what we have. And then this is my CapCut interface, if you can see it. Those on Zoom, please confirm to me that you can see my screen so I can continue. Just open your mic and confirm that you can see my screen. Those on Zoom, please, can you confirm if you can see my screen? Okay. People on our participants on YouTube, help me confirm. The people on Zoom, they are not talking to me. Okay, somebody just sent a chat. Okay, I can see. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much, sir. So we are starting. Like I was explaining earlier, for those who are just joining, many of us expected Mr. Henry to be here. Okay, let me just recap once more before I continue. Mr. Henry is supposed to be here. That is our instructor from last week. He's supposed to be here with us today. Just a few minutes while I was setting up for our class, he messaged me that he's, as we speak, he's still in the office having a video shoot, that I should please plead on his behalf to you people. He values every one of us here. So, and I should plead on his behalf and then request if we can reschedule his class tomorrow. So tomorrow being Sunday, we are going to reschedule his class the same time, 8:30. Okay, so please pardon Mr. Henry. He will be with us for our next class. Okay, thank you so much. So what I'm not going to be teaching his Premiere Pro because he started it. Like I mentioned to us earlier, those that joined earlier today, I said video editing is the same principles we use. We use the same principles, right? We have color grading, the way we arrange our graphics, the way we chunk our videos and everything. It's the same principle. But CapCut, Premiere Pro, After Effects, DaVinci Resolve, and the rest of them, they are all tools to assemble these videos. So there are basic things that you have to do in order for you to be able to have a good video. People don't really ask which software did you use to edit this. And software does not determine how beautiful a project will turn out to become. It's not software. It's the principle that you understand. It's the principle that you know. That is what will make your work come out neat at the end of the day. It's the concept that you have. That's what will make your work come out beautiful at the end of the day. So I want to teach us CapCut. So I'll be talking a few things about this principle. Then from talking about these principles, then we'll commence with our CapCut, right? So I will stop sharing my screen, then we'll discuss a few of these principles. We'll discuss basic principle of video editing. Then after doing that, I will share my screen. Then we are going to do a simple project using CapCut. So let me stop sharing, and then I believe you can still see my video. So the main thing about video editing, there is something I want us to understand. I'm going to be sharing just about just a few principles about video editing, few things you need to know about video editing. The first thing is that video editing is about storytelling, and storytelling is communication. And communication is like me talking to you. And in as much as I have people connected to this streaming via Zoom, you are still muted because you are listening to me. You want to understand what I'm saying, right? When I want to listen to you, what I'll do is that I'm going to mute myself, or I'm going to stop talking. Then you are going to be talking while I listen to you. This is the basic principle of video editing. Most times, if you don't understand this principle of communication, it's about communication. If you don't understand this basic principle of communication, what will happen is that you are going to pass noise. Just imagine all of us, we are talking, everybody open your mic, for instance. you are talking and I'm talking, what will happen is that all of us are going to be causing noise. I will not understand you, you will not understand me. So many persons have not done good with their editing because what they have chunk out to the people is not you've not communicated a scenario that the people should see. You've passed noise to them. And this passing noise or not communicating very well can be the type of footages you use. In video editing, we call them footages, your clips, your graphics, all these things. You can either communicate rightly with them or wrongly with them. So this is the basic thing about storytelling. You have to understand what you want to tell. For instance, get this scenario. If I'm walking along my street and I get to see from afar a canopy, let's say a canopy, and the canopy is decorated with pink color, and maybe just by approaching the place, I ask, what are they doing there? Somebody said they are doing baby, what do they call it? Somebody told me I was with a lady. She said is it sex unveiling or something? Uh, sex reveal. They said it's to unveil the sex of the baby. That they do it is part of the occasion, from baby shower to all that. Women, you people know better. So I'm coming to that event, or I'm afar from the canopy, for instance. And then, okay, sorry, thank you. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you, Precious Dunsin. Okay, it says gender review. Sorry, I don't really know much about that. It's gender review. So I now, from afar, I see the canopy and it's decorated all with pink, different shade of pink, fuchsia pink, baby pink, different uh, a grade of pink or different variation of pink. And then do you know what will happen? What will happen is that in my mind, psychologically, I can tell, because it's gender review, I can tell psychologically that what they are revealing is a baby girl. If you see different shade of blue, it's easier to communicate that what they are revealing is a baby boy, right? I hope we are still together. Okay. So it's easier to tell that is either a baby girl or a baby boy. It's because these colors, that this both pink and blue color, these are graphically, these are colors that they use to represent these things, these genders, be it a female or a male. This same principle applies in graphics. So if you are going to communicate, they ask you to make a video editing. For instance, Gaza war is happening. They are asking us to edit something to send out a message. Israel, please stop bombarding Gaza, save the children that are dying. What type of footages are you going to use? Are you going to use people that are smiling in cinema? People that, no, you have to go down and get the right footages. These footages I'm talking about, they are going to be footages of what is happening to tell that story. That's why I said in video editing, the very primary principle is storytelling. Your video or every video you're editing should have a clear beginning, a clear middle, and a clear ending. And for it to have this clear beginning is the story. When we watch movies, they don't start the ending of the movie from the beginning. Movies start from a story. They are telling a story. They'll tell you a story from the beginning, and then let's assume you are making an editing for a church event. You want to tell people they should come for your crusade. There are basic things you are going to capture, for instance, to capture the attention of people. Most time you see crowd healing, people carrying their wheelchair up. You see all those type of footages. Why are they bringing the footages? Because they want to tell a story that this thing is a crusade. It's an outdoor event. And in this outdoor event, you are going to, there will be healing, there will be deliverances, there will be that. And in between, some people, there are different styles you can use to edit. Some people bring, let's assume Minister Dunsin is coming, we'll put a cut of Minister Dunsin's ministration to Philo Sunday. Let's assume they are the guest ministers. You see their footage is coming, while another editor is going to put just their face. Another editor can edit that clip without um without showing anything in terms of their videos, and that person will just use their pictures. Another person will want to edit and now use what we call voiceover. I believe we know what voiceover is. For those that don't know what voiceover is, let me not make assumption. Voiceover is this voice you hear at the background of video telling you story about something. Say, okay, come for this our event. The date is, they use one beautiful voice. It can be a lady or a male. That is what voiceover is about. So you can use, there are different styles. Some person can edit that same video invite for a crusade, for an outdoor event, or for a conference. They can choose to use voiceover, and that person will edit. You will not even notice whether he used voiceover or not, because in between, from his beginning, middle, and ending, he's using the voiceover of the men of the different preachers or the different invited ministers. He just interchanging their voices. And how does he get to understand this thing? There's what we call storyboard. This storyboard is where you actually determine how you want your video to flow, right? So storytelling and structuring is the primary basic thing about video editing. You don't just get a request, make a video of this. Even if you're editing a reel, you must put your head down and think, how do I want this thing to appear? It's the primary thing that you ask yourself. How do you want this thing to appear? And professionally, you will now start talking about the mood you want it to be. How do you want this thing to appear? How do you want it to be? Right? And then you also talk about the color grading. How do you want it to look? Do you want it to have a movie feel? Do you want it to be black and white? Do you want it to be? So you talk about those things, but the major thing is the storytelling and then structure. You now structure your video the way you want it to be, because your audience, for people to watch your video, I don't know if you've seen maybe a church program that is coming up or a reel. You are so engaged in watching it to the end because of the way the story is just going. That this is the structuring we have. So you must sit on the table, plan how this thing should come to be, right? You must plan it out and know how this thing should be. For instance, if the story or the video you are trying to edit or you are trying to create, you need is on that storyboard. That is where you are going to say, okay, this my media team, we actually need to go back to the church, maybe one of the services. We are going to record people. Let people talk about their testimony. You want to feature it in this video you want to edit. You can't determine that on the system. You don't jump into the system. The very first thing you do when you have a request for a project, sit back and ask yourself, how do you want this thing to appear? How should it appear, right? And then you can make references to other projects. You can go back and do research. You can go back, make research. Has this type of project been done? Because you must, in trying to create your own story structure, you have to make reference to other people. Look at what people have done before. And let me give you a tip. One of my basic principle, I'm a graphic designer, I'm a video editor, and I manage church media. Most times what I do, there's a principle I have, the principle that Jacob applied in Laban's house, that he painted trees, stick and placed it. And the animals, as they were drinking water, feeding, seeing those painted sticks, when they gave birth to their own offspring, the offspring had those dotted uh, designs on their own body. And that was how he was making more money, because anyone that was dotted belongs to him. So that same principle is what I apply privately in my own creative world. I have this principle. There is nothing new that you want to achieve in video editing or in graphics. People are doing a whole lot all over the world. So what you need to do as a creative, how do you remain creative? Always make research. Look out for what people are doing. And when you have free time, always feed your mind with the type of things you want to do. You can go on Instagram, you can go on Pinterest, you can go on YouTube. Look at what people are editing. You can narrow it down if it's church, then get church materials, the type of editing that you love, like reels and the whole of those things. Church invites, service invites, and all that. You can look at them. Once you keep feeding your mind with those things, that automatically your mind will start being accustomed to how to create those beautiful clips. You can't just say there is clip without research. You jump into editing. No, you must sit back and tell the story on board. Define everything that you are going to be needing, right? There are some projects you may want to create. The stock footages that you will need. Stock footages, I mean, I'll be giving us some places you can download these things. Stock footages, I mean, for instance, you are telling a story of a blind man. Let's say that you are editing a video. I need to talk about a blind man. Let's say Jesus healed a blind man, and you want to bring a video clip of the blind man. You go to YouTube, you go to other platform and download a blind man, Jesus raising cleaning the blind man or healing the eye and all that, and telling the blind man stand up. You want to just get that place that Jesus lifted the blind man's hand up. You want to get that footage and then put it. You know, it's not something you are going to shoot with camera. You just need to download it and add it to your project. So that type of clip is what we call stock footage, right? Any clip like that you did not shoot, but you are bringing it in, you call them stock footage. And if you go to, there are many AI that are generating stock footage today. You can check them out. But if you have money to spare, which I will recommend, you can go to Evato. There is a platform called Evato. There is what they call this guy now? Artlist. Artlist is another platform. Artlist. Artlist, they have both audio and stock footages and sound and different things. Same thing with Evato. For those that do After Effects, you can get After Effects preset template from Evato. Then if you don't have budget, you want to get free ones, you can check freepick.com. Freepick.com is where you can get that. You can just get that from freepick.com. So you can download these footages and use it to complete your editing. So storytelling is very, very important. And then it's good for when you are creating your story. Then another principle that I want us to apply is pacing and reading. Pacing. Sometimes something we call pacing. There is what we call pacing and reading. Adjust the speed of your video, like your clips. There is a time you need to pace it to be faster. Let's say somebody is living, you are creating a content or a video project, like you are trying to, I see this, most people use it, these real estate people that design, or even churches. Let's say you are interviewing somebody outside, and you want the person that is interviewing to go inside the church and maybe show other parts of the church. You see them, they will just pace the video to go very fast. When they make it very fast, that thing what it's trying to do is that it's trying to communicate high energy. It will just go very fast, and then most time is in when you are creating video project for church invite, use some of those things. And action scene, when you are trying to talk about action, you see that pace, or somebody is running, they will pace the video and all that. And some people use what we call slow motion. Indian movie, they use slow motion a lot. So we've known them that they use slow motion a lot. So those are some of the things, pacing and rhythm. Some of those things you use them to um communicate. Like Indian movie, when somebody wants to cry, they just shot someone. The mother wants to shoot. You see the woman, they use slow motion. They are trying to engage you emotionally. So this is a principle you use in video editing. It's a principle you use in video editing. And another thing is sound. The sound, what type of sound do you use for your video editing? The background sound, the transitional sound. And if we are going to talk about video editing generally, we talk about sound, we talk about footages, we talk about transitions, because these are the elements that you need to edit your video. Sound, footages, video clips, transitions, and your graphics, right? And there is something I'm going to be showing us. I believe Mr. Henry wanted to mention it the other day, but he said he will mention it later. So what type of sound do you use? Some people, video clean, but the sound they have used is so terrible. In fact, I watched a very clean video. In fact, it's on television. One church, their TV station, they are doing running montage. And I, as a professional, I could tell that they downloaded a free template and they use. How do you now correct your templates when you download them and use? Sometimes you are hearing something like audio jungle. A sound will play, play, play. In between, you hear audio jungle. Some people leave that thing not knowing that that thing is like a watermark. When you download picture from the internet, you see the watermark it. That audio jungle that keep replaying. I don't know if somebody you've heard that thing before. The people on Zoom, can anyone confirm if you've witnessed something like this before, if you experience it? You watch someone's video or and you are hearing audio jungle. Let me know if we are together, please. Okay, I can't hear my people. Okay, it's okay. Not at all.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you so much.
yeah, yes. Are you getting us?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you, sir.
Oh, okay. Yes, we listen and we follow.
Okay, thank you. So, another thing you must look out for, don't use audio or sound that have watermark. You must look out for it. There are songs that have watermark. Most time we don't even know, we think it's part of the rhythm. It's just that those things have watermark. So for you to get free audio, those that are using CapCut, you can easily download audio sound from CapCut. I'm going to show us all that. But for those that are using other software, you can't download sound from CapCut. You can download sound if you have CapCut. Export the sound as MP3 and then use it. Another thing is, how do you now get sound that are free sound? Yes. How do you get sound that are free sound so that they will not flag your video down? Some sound they'll flag your video down, right? So I don't want them to flag our video down. So what do? We get the right audio. And one of the recommendations I'll give, the website you can get your audio is bensound.com. Ben like Big Ben, bensound.com. If you go to bensound.com, you can get free audio there. And then you can also check for that website where you can get audio, right? Okay. So we are making progress. I will just explain a few other things, then we continue. Another thing you must pay attention to is your graphics. You must pay attention to your graphics. What type of fonts do you use? When we talk about branding, I said it the other day, when you talk about branding, you must not just use color at random. The basic thing I will recommend to us, before you start editing, always make reference to people's work. You can put somebody's work side by side and be copying people while you become much better. And that copying is that you are going to copy the type of fonts that they use. And it's something that I want you to read up. Like for churches, I always recommend, if you are going to be using scripture text, there is a font called Poppins. There's a font called Poppins. There is a font that is reigning for graphic designers. It's a family font. They are called Grotech font. So you can get basic fonts. You don't have to use all these dancing fonts and now use those fonts that look like fire. It doesn't make the job look better. The basic principle I have for both my graphics and my video editing, keep it very simple. The simpler, the better. When you keep it simple, your communication is simplified and people can easily grab the information you are trying to communicate to them. So keep it very simple. Use simple fonts, use simple basic colors. Like I told you the other day, for those that we are not here, I said if you are going to put a text, if that text should have a background, if the background is dark, use a light color text on top. If the background is light color, use a dark color text on top. These are the basic two principles of color using, right? So always make reference to people's work, and then you can ask your AI and get color code. What colors can I combine for my video? This is what I'm trying to achieve. And then just get that. Or if your ministry have a brand guide already, there is a color your ministry is using, stick to those colors and see how to fine tune them to make your work fine. And if I'm going to recommend, don't use more than um, 2 fonts in your editing. Don't use more than 2. Keep it like 2. One bold font and one simpler font. Then for color, you can go max 3 colors for your editing for now. A time will come when you can use multiple colors, but for now, just use like 3 colors. Combine just 3 colors. Get 3 colors that are very good. There is this Adobe Color CC. I think Adobe Color CC. If you go there, you're going to see different color combinations. You can check other distinct tools that you can use to get your color combination. Just search on Google. You can see other places, or you can just search for color combinations for video editing at random. You can see many pictures. Just pick something that you like and use. Play around it. The beautiful thing is for people to interact more with your video, it must be graphically correct, coloring, font, right? And then also the placement of your font, which I'm going to be talking in course of our practical. So the placement, excuse me, the placement of your font is very, very key to what you are going to be doing, right? Okay. Another thing I'll talk about, I don't know if I should talk about this thing or talk about, okay, I want us to start practical, so I will not talk about, so let me just talk the last thing. Another thing I want to talk about is reviewing your work and then getting feedback. Most creatives, most of us don't like people reviewing our work. Most of us just finish work. In fact, some churches, the editors and designers are like in competition. Somebody will just finish his work and send it to senior pastor, to pastor in charge, without even dropping it in the team and ask someone, maybe 1 or 2 person, help me check this work. How does it look like? You are not in competition with anybody. The simple truth is that your work should stand out. And how do you make your work to stand out? Allow other people to check your work. I do it a lot. When I finish work, I give to people and I ask them, help me check this work. There are some things that you listening to me may not see that those people will spot for you. And then when they spot it, quickly make the correction and then go back. And if you are in the position where somebody is giving you something to review for them, how do you now give feedback? There are things I look out for if I'm giving somebody feedback. One of the things I look out for is that I try to, if I find a fault, I either get a sample and show you, if you do it this way, I think it should be better. And if I get a sample, what happens is that with a sample, the person understands what I'm trying to say easily. And after reviewing, I'm also supporting the person by giving the person a sample to reference for the person to perfect their work. Don't just condemn people's work and say, this your thing are rubbish. No, don't condemn like that. If you are going to condemn or you are going to make recommendation, always, if you are going to give somebody critique someone's work, critiques constructively by bringing recommendation. If you don't have recommendation, don't criticize someone's work. Criticize and bring recommendation. I think is the best thing to do. Don't just criticize and leave the person hanging, maybe more confused. When you criticize, go another extent and bring recommendation and give to the person to support the person's endeavor. I think we are together. I believe we are together, right? So, okay, I'm still checking us. Okay, so I'm going to, I think that is the last thing I'll talk about now. So let me quickly share my screen. Let me quickly share my screen so that we can see what we can do today. Okay. Let me quickly share my screen. Okay, this is my CapCut screen. Okay, I'm sharing my screen now. So this is CapCut for PC. Most people are saying that CapCut is not allowing people to use their products and all that, because I also witnessed the same problem just this week. But I intend buying their this thing, to buy a plan with them. But if you don't have the money to buy a plan with CapCut, what I recommend, go and download an older version. don't use this current version. If you are using computer, go and download an older version. You can check for on Google how to download older versions of CapCut. When you download older versions, they are not going to be requesting for all this plenty pay for CapCut and all that. With an older version, you can do your job and export it freely. This is a very key secret that most people don't know. So that is the secret for using that. So this is the CapCut interface, and this place is where you bring in, this is your project panel. This is where you bring in your project. Where you bring in, you drag your video, your photos, your audio files, you bring everything here. Your photos, your image file, you bring everything to this place. This is where you drag them. For instance, let me bring something. Let me click, I clicked on this import to import. Let me bring this in. Maybe you did not see. Look at this import, this plus button. If you go to this menu on top, you can still see it. You can go here and say import. You can import from this menu or you import from this place. So what I want to import now is a project I have done, but I just want to use it for an example. There's a project that I did. Let me bring this. Let me bring this. I want to show some samples of project that I worked on. Okay, this is the video, the raw file of the video. Okay. So you can work this with me. Let me quickly play it. Sorry, my.
Why does God need something that cannot fight for itself?
So this is a project that I worked on. This is a project that I worked on. And this is another one also that I worked on. One of my projects. So this is another project that I worked on, right? Okay, but this is something I have that I want us to work on now. This is something I have and I want us to work on it. So if you see this video is having the, what do they call it now? The video coloring is plain. You can see the video coloring is plain because the recommendation professionally for shooting videos, we recommend that you shoot in what we call flat. This flat means, this flat is if you are only recording, but if you are live streaming, shoot with full color. But if you are going to record alone, there is what we call flat. I may not explain it in detail, but I would recommend you look out for it on YouTube, maybe learn more about it. When you are shooting flat, you can set your camera in such a way that you shoot on flat. And this is what people like Netflix, all these big movie producing houses, they do. You shoot on flat so that when you want to color grade, you can color grade it using the color styling you want. I don't know if you've noticed some epic movies. Those epic movies, they color grade those epic movies. They have the same kind of feel to depict. You want to grade a video and you want to depict this video to look like something that happened in the 1980s. The color should not look as bright as the color of today. So how do we achieve that? Because if you shoot with full color, what will happen is you may have difficulty to color grade it to something that looks like an older video. You may have difficulty. So professionally, what we do is that you shoot on flat, and that flat will give you as an editor the leverage to play with the color the way you want to play with it, right? So this video was shot in flat. You can see how pale it's looking like. And we are going to, you can see this is the edited one. You can see this editor. Look at how the color is looking now. And you can see look at how flat, how pale the original video is looking. So this is what we do when you do the color grading. When you color grade, you are going to have the original color, and you can fix the original color to what you want. Meanwhile, the previous, which is the original footage, is the shooting is in flat, what we call flat. So you can check it out to know more about it. So we are going to take this thing, and in CapCut, this is what we call your timeline. Please, those on Zoom, if you have any question, just open your mic and ask me, so we can I can explain better to you. If you have any question, let me know, please. I want to confirm those on
Yes,
those on
sir.
YouTube. Okay, do you have any question? Okay. I think someone is talking. I can't hear you very well.
You getting me?
I can't hear you. It's faint. Your voice is faint.
You getting me still?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I said I have one question for you.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
You are muted.
Okay. You getting me now?
Yeah, I can get you now.
Yeah, actually, I want to appreciate you for your level of education tonight when it comes to that of video editing stuff. Because it's one of the difficulties that some of us face, like in some churches when it comes to the media aspect, when it comes to the video editing. But like for instance, I can use at time I can use phone and I can also use computer. But I want to know the process of getting CapCut the Pro. Yeah, the process of getting CapCut Pro on the computer, not the phone now, but for the computer.
Okay, sir. Okay, to
Yes.
get the Pro for computer, just go to CapCut, their website, and then you download it. I'm going to share a website with us on the WhatsApp group, maybe after this call. If I'm not able to share it today, I'll share it tomorrow morning, but I'll try to share it today. The website, you'll be able to download old versions of CapCut from it. But if you go to CapCut's website, you are going to download the current version. And if you download the current version, that means you are going to pay for it. So if you have the budget to pay for it, just go to the website, CapCut website, that I think capcut.com. You can just Google CapCut. It will take you to their website, download it. After downloading, you can put your card and pay for the Pro. If you have the budget, you can pay for the Pro. But if you don't, I would recommend that you get an older version of CapCut and use. That one is free.
Yeah, so the one you're talking about our old version is that the for all the feature that is in the
The
new one
features.
that payable one, yeah, that is in the new one, the one that you can pay for, the payable one, is that also in the old version that you're talking about?
Yeah, the one I'm going to recommend for you to download, we have almost all the features you'll be needing. That is also in the latest version. Just that the latest
Like,
version, they are trying to add more of the AI features and all that. But if you have the budget, get the Pro, pay for it and use, so you can have everything. That is my recommendation.
okay, so last is like for us for now that mostly use phone when it comes to that or video editing. What is your recommendation away from that or CapCut? Is there any or app that we can really use that also that that meet up with CapCut that can do the same process when it comes to video editing?
Yeah, I think I shared on the WhatsApp group today. Which WhatsApp group are you? Is it in number 3?
Mm,
Oh,
it, a part of that, a part of the is that number three number? We know the number. Is that an impact? A part of
okay.
the impact feature that impact
Okay, we have
ministry
about
preacher.
3 groups. We have about 3 groups. And when I posted that people should ask questions, I think the group 2, or no, the first group, the participation was more. Persons asked question, I was able to respond. So I dropped about 3 softwares that you can use for phone editing. So I will share it on all the groups also for us. So you
Yeah.
can see it for audio. Yeah, but
But
CapCut for now.
is
Best.
that possible? Is that possible that I be part of that other group there, or is that specific people that can be part of it?
You say what?
Is that specific people
No. I'm
you
going to
place
share it for
those on?
everyone. I'm going to
Okay.
share it for everybody to get access to it. Okay.
Okay.
I think that is all I'll take for now. Let's go back to the class. Okay. Let's go back to the class. So this is what we have. We've imported our video. If you notice what I said, import, then we got this video. Then I want to bring in a logo of the ministry because we are going to be needing it. And I'll also bring in other elements. So let me bring in this. Let me bring in this. Then let me bring in green screen. I know most of us, we know these things already, but I'm just doing it for the sake of general knowledge so that everybody will benefit. All right, so that's why I'm sharing all this. So this is the video we have. We are going to explain this place before. There are what we call the aspect ratio of videos. The aspect ratio of videos is one of the questions you ask yourself when you are planning for a project is that this my project, is it a landscape project or is it a vertical project? Landscape, I mean your 16:9 aspect ratio, or is it going to be 9:16 aspect ratio? If you see this is landscape. The one I talked about to be this is video like this. Video like this is the one we call 9:16 aspect ratio. So why what you have like this is 16:9, the aspect ratio. Some people can say this is 1920 by 1080. As correct as that is, when we talk about rotation, in video editing, we call it aspect ratio. So you use the ratio to, when you talk about aspect in video editing, is aspect ratio that we use. So, sorry, please. So this is the, sorry, please. I apologize for that. So this is the aspect ratio, which is this vertical is 16:9. So if you open this place, this ratio, you are going to see 16:9. You are going to see, for instance, this is 16:9. This is where we are. If you see this one, look at 9:16. 9:16 is what you are having. Look at the workspace have changed to 9:16. You can see it. This is 9. This is 16. So you can decide to blow up this video to match, and then you centralize it. Look at where this your coordinates. You can put these coordinates. You can see it's like a cross. This is the center of the video now. And this is why we encourage video handlers to always maintain a centralized shot when a minister, for instance, is ministering. And you don't have to move the camera. You have to be, if you are the one mounting the master shot, you have to centralize the minister because of all this type of editing. So this is where we switch from our 16:9 to our 9:16. And if you check down, you also see 1:1, you see 3:4, see something like this, 3:4. Then you can still see different, this is 1:2. So this is the most popular ones are the square, which is 1:1 that you can see below, and also the what they call it now, your 16:9. So let's just go back to this. So whenever you switch your ratio, you are going to automatically do what? Go back. Let me go back to this. So if you, after doing this, look at how zoomed our video is. I'm going to return this scale because I'm selecting this video. Let me select this clip that I brought in. What I'm going to do, I'm going to return this scale. Look at this scale. I'm going to return it to 100%. 100. I will enter. So it will return to the original video. So this will return to the original video automatically. So when you have this is the video. We can then, we have talked about the workspace. That is the ratio that we did. This is the workspace. We have talked about the workspace. Now we have told ourselves that what we are editing for is we are using landscape like this to want to edit this landscape. And the process of this editing, my recommended process is before you start cutting your video, because this video, by the time you are editing it, you'll be needing to cut some part of this video off. So before you cut this video and start chunking it out, maybe you want to do a mix. Before you do that, first thing you do is that edit the audio. If the audio is having issue, edit the audio. After editing the audio, then also edit the video. Also edit the video. So when you are done editing the audio, also edit the video. If you come to this place, you can see this sequence, this track, look at it. This is what we call the this track. This track now is your video track. Why this one is your audio? The ones below, they are audio. So if we are going to bring in an audio, you can do that. So if this audio is having issue, you can decide to look at track height. You can increase the track. Look at it, you can increase the track height or just default, but increase the audio wave, put it at 60%. You can see this audio. When your audio is like this, hitting like this, it's too loud. Look at it, just by seeing this red, this thing on it, you can decide to either reduce it here manually small. Let it return to a green zone. Look at this green zone, so that it won't, people will not be listening to your video and see that it's biting in the ear. Please, if you are having any question, I want you to ask those online. If there's any question, I want you to ask, please. So let's go back. Okay, help me reserve your question. Let me finish what I'm doing. Let's go to an extent, then we'll take question. Right? Okay, thank you. So you can see this, but can you hear me clearly?
Yes. I'm
clearly?
getting it clear. Yes, I'm getting it clear. I don't know about the other people, but for me, I'm getting it clear. You getting me? Hello? Hello?
I can hear you, sir. So let's go back. This is what we have. This is what we have. So let's do the first thing. We said the first thing is to correct audio. So if this audio is okay, or you want to work on it, you can just click on this audio or this clip, and then you come to audio here. Look at this audio. You can come to this audio and you can reduce this. Like this version, this is a pro version of the CapCut. This is a pro version. I mentioned to you that I had issue with my CapCut earlier. So you can come here. With the older one, you can decide to do this. And if your video is having issue, that when you are using a headset or earpiece to listen to it, you can see that only one ear or only one side of the headphone or earpiece is talking, while the other one is not talking. You come here and then fill it up. Look at this play. You can just, under audio, by selecting, after selecting the clip, you come to this audio. you can fill it and say, you click on fill. And when you come down, you are going to say fill right with left or fill left with right. So you are going to listen, look at your audio, which part can you hear very well? If it's the right side that is clean, you are going to say, okay, take the right side and fill, okay, or take the left side and fill with right. So you are going to fill the audio. And then when you fill, your audio is going to be balanced. And then you can do your normal reduce noise, enhance this with the free one. And then you can even normalize the loudness. Then the next thing is to correct the color of this video. So you have to correct audio, correct video before you start cutting. So let's correct the video now. That is the color. To correct the color, you are going to come to adjustment. Look at my mouse. These things are not showing when I click out. You have to select the clip you want to edit for you to be able to achieve all this. So now I'm selecting this and then I'll come to adjustment. Look at adjustment. When you come to adjustment, is loading. Let me just wait for it to load. So I'm coming to adjustments. I'm going to do a few adjustments here. For instance, I'm going to touch my saturation. This is my red. I'm going to touch my saturation. I'll touch my exposure, for instance. This exposure, most time, depending on how clean your video is, you don't drag it like this. This is too exposed. So you just adjust all these things little by little till you get a perfect coloring. See your contrast. You can adjust your contrast. So look at what your contrast is doing so that you can have this flat, so that you can have the clean color of this footage. Look at your contrast. This highlight is to add more lightning. Look at it. You can just add small of everything. Look at shadow to balance the black in the video. This shadow. Shadow is to be tuned backward. This is shadow. Then this white and black, I hardly use them. Look at, maybe you want to add more black. You can just drop it small, minus. Brilliance. You can add small, just small. Then sharpen, to sharpen the picture. This is what we have so far. This is what we have.
Now, what did he call Jacob?
So this is what we have so far. You can sharpen the video small. And this particle, if you want to have this type of feel on your video, you can add particle to it. But I don't use it every time. I use it when I'm doing promo. Then Vinate. Look at this one. You want to add black. You see this type of thing. This is where you add it. But it's not necessary for every video. You don't use it in every video. So this is what we have. I think this video is, the lightning is too much. I want to drop something to reduce the lightning. You can add small blue. If you want to have a blue feel, you don't want the red to be too much, you can drop and add small blue. You can add small pink if you want, or come this way, but you don't necessarily need to use everything in one video editing. I don't use this blue stuff, I rarely use it. And this red, just use it small. And this exposure, you can drop it more. The contrast too, you can increase this. So this is before and after of our video. This is our justice check. This is before our video. This is after. This is before. This is after. There is something else you can add to this video to increase, to help the audio or the coloring. Is what we call filters. Look at filters. Filters is like what we call LUTs in video editing. They are like precepts, LUTs. You can decide to, some apps like Premiere Pro, you can decide to use the type of color grading that they use for Merlin, for instance, Merlin movie, for Fast and Furious, for different movies. If you go to Premiere Pro, you can see you are going to see all those type of things. The type of color grading that they use, you just come and add it on top of your video. You have the same feel, the way Merlin is looking, the way the color grading is looking. You can have it. Look at this one now. You can decide to carry this and drop it on top. Let me spread it. Look at this. It will give me this feel. You can see it. But this is not what I want. I can delete this. This is the one I did manually. So depending on what you want, exactly. See, this one is telling me clear. If I download it, and if you are going to use CapCut, use CapCut with internet, you are going to enjoy it more. Look at this one. It's showing me that it's clean. Look at how here is. Look at how here is. And look at how this one is. So if I'm going to use this, I may decide to reduce the exposure, or I may decide to drop the highlight. I've dropped this highlight. So there are a whole lot, tons of tons of filters that you can use depending on what you are creating. You're going to use it to create whatever thing that you want. And see this HSLR. You can decide to pick a color in this video. You can pick a particular color in this video and work on it. Let's say I'm picking this thing. You can decide to work on everything about blue. Look, I'm removing the whole of the blue from this video. Look at this thing. I've removed every blue from this video because I came to HSL and I pick color blue and I've dropped the saturation. You can increase the color saturation for blue. You can reduce everything about blue. And this is looking like a black and white video, black background, while the color is remaining. So you can pick a particular color and remove it from the video. So if I say yellow now, yellow is not prominent in this video. Blue is prominent. That's why it's obvious. So these are the things that you can do. Color wheel. You can come here and use color wheel. Just use your color wheel and tune. Look at, there are a whole lot of things you can do here. You can actually play around with this thing. And it's when you play around with these things that you understand them better. You can use your color wheel and do wonders. So it's when you play around with these things that you're going to understand them better, like I mentioned. So there are a whole lot to be done for this. That is that. Now we have corrected our audio, for instance, and we have corrected our video. If you are using this, you can expand this all through from beginning to the end. So those that are just joining us, you are welcome. This is what we did. This is adjust. This is how our video was. This is what we have now. So this is not perfect for me. I can still tune it to balance. So you keep balancing it until you get what you want. The exposure and all that. You keep working on them till you get exactly what you want. So that is that. Let me return to media. This media is where I brought things. So now you return to media. So this is a graphics. Let me put this. This is a graphic work. My graphic team helped me to edit this, for instance. And I want to use this to drop scripture. I want to drop scripture. That when he's reading, I want to see scripture here. Let me bring the original video that I edited, the exported one. I want to bring the exported video. This is how the exported video looks like. You can see how the text is laid. This is the text. This is the text. This is the logo. You can see all that. Then this is social media. So this is just how to bring it. So why did I choose to keep my this thing? Look at the pastor's name. Okay, I'm looking for where there is scripture. This is pastor's name. If you look at this pastor's name, the pastor's name did not start from the base of the screen. That is something I want some of us here to correct. Most time you want to place graphics like this thing that we are trying to place. You want to place it, you come and start it from this place. What happens is that if you take this content and play it on some screen, it's going to cut off. If you play it on some TV set, this down part is going to cut off. Or if you run a scroll message, if you run a scroll message here, some parts are going to cut off. If you run a scroll message, you see that the scroll message will be on top of your overlay. This Bible portion or the Bible graphics we are trying to bring in is what we call overlay. The graphics we drop on top of our video footage, we call them overlay. So there is what we call safe margin. Safe margin. We call it safe margin because we use them. Let me quickly download the safe margin. Let me quickly download the safe margin. Please mute yourself. Please, let's mute ourselves. Somebody's mic is open. Kindly mute yourself, please. Can you hear me? Please mute yourself.
Yeah.
Please mute yourself. You can hear your voice on the stream and the people in the background. Okay, so I'm bringing another this thing called safe margin. I want us to see how safe margin looks like. I'm a television engineer. This is what safe margin looks like. CapCut does not have safe margin, but Premiere Pro has safe margin like this. So what I do is that I bring in safe margin from external point. So I'm going to remove the black from here so I can have just the lines around for me. So let me drop this. Let me drop this. It's overshadowing our video. But one thing you see that this thing is in layers. The one on top will overshadow the ones below. Let me close it. You see that it's out. But if you open it, it's on. So what I want to do is that I'm going to video, remove background. So let me quickly chroma key it. Chroma key. So I'll remove the background of this now. I'll remove the black on it. So what I'm talking about safe margin are these dots. You see these black lines around here. Those are the safe margin. You can see these are the safe margin. When you are watching Premiership, when you are watching some churches that understand this thing, when you are watching television stations, when you're watching CNN, you see that their graphics does not start from the base of the TV station of the TV screen because they apply this rule called the rule of safe margin. So you have to lift this thing up above this line. You leave it above this line or you leave it here. Look at this second one. You put it here. Some people by choice use it from this first line while others put it from this top. Some other persons put it from this top. This is where they put their graphics. Look at it. This is safe margin. This is safe margin. So when you have this now, if you run a scroll message on this content, you can see that no matter how big the scroll message is, it's not going to affect this your graphics that you are dropping. if you drop the pastor's name, if you are going to drop a logo, let me drop a logo here. Let me drop a logo. Please, can you mute your audio, please? Okay. If you are having a logo here, let me say this logo. Let me remove the background. This is just the logo. This is just the logo, right? If I'm going to drop this logo, let me see. With this, you can even crop. Let me crop some of these SSs. I want to crop some of these parts. So if I'm going to drop this, I'm going to follow this same safe margin. And another thing, for everyone here that is editing video, and if you are not a graphic person, I want you to take some basic course on graphics. We call it minimalistic graphics knowledge. When you understand minimalistic graphic knowledge, you don't have to, some people will come and place their logo. The logo will almost be bigger than the pastor's head. Something like this. This is too big for me. They will put it, the logo will be like this. This is too big. This is not beautiful. So you have to keep it very simple and unique. Then you have to move it. Look at this safe margin that we are using. The lines. You can see the line. This is where I'm placing logo. And you can see the which other this thing now? The graphics. You can see the graphics. So this is our logo. This is our logo. This is the graphics. Everything is following safe margin. Even if you are going to bring the pastor's name, you are going to keep it above this safe margin, so that if they run scroll bar below, your own this thing should be on top. So if a scroll bar is running here, your own graphics should be on top. So it's a basic thing that most persons don't really know when it comes to editing. So I'm sharing it now for us to understand that you have to apply all these things. So you can just go to Google and download safe margin. You always use it to track this thing, to track your graphics when you are placing them. Then the next thing is we want to bring in an what they call it now, test. So if you are going to bring in test, like I showed you here, like this is the main sermon that I edited. You can see, look at the main sermon. Everything is above. If they run a scroll bar here, look at the graphics here is above. The logo is within this axis, and likewise this. So no matter how they run scroll bar, it's not going to affect my graphics. So if we are going to bring in tests, and the test I'm recommending, I don't want it to be too creative. The test I'm recommending, just get the font. If you don't know the font, it's called Poppins. Just download Poppins. Go to Google and type Poppins font, family font. You are going to download it and then use it for your editing. It will make your work simple and easy. Look at this font. It's the same font look at this font, how simple this font is. Look at how simple this font is. It mustn't be too bogus. When you do branding like this, it will look like all these foreign churches. So your church can have this feel like a foreign church. You mustn't do too much to use a lousy font to achieve anything. So just use minimal, simple font, and you're going to achieve a lot. So to bring in text now, this is place to click for text. You click on this text. You can select this text and drop text above here. So you can drop tests, you can pull it. If you notice there is no text, then some person that are editing that doesn't have Bible app, you can get Bible app. Get Bible app that you can be copying, or if you have internet, you can just be getting everything from the internet. So I'm getting John 3:16, and I want to add it up to what I'm editing as my test. John 3:16. And I'm going to, now that I have, I have brought in this test. Look at test. By default, I just dragged and drop. Look at test. I just dragged this test and I dropped it. I opened more. Then I'm coming here now and I'll paste the John 3:16 that I received. I'm going to drop the value of this test. Then you can pull this thing. Everybody, many of us here, you have a better way of doing this more than me. But this is one of my patterns, the way I do my own. So please do well to bear with me. Only. So I'm reading to only. When I get to only, I'll break it. When I get to this place, I will break it. So this is what I have. This is what I have. And when you are dropping your graphics, look at this blue line that is showing. This is measuring up for me that this is the center of this graphics. So if you are dropping it, always watch out for those things. So you can see this. The alignment of this is aligning towards the center. This is center alignment. When you're dropping your test, you can see this is center alignment. This is left-hand side alignment. You can see this. This is preferably for me for this video because my design, I had made my design to be left-hand sided alignment. It's not center alignment. So anything I'm bringing that is left-hand side alignment is going to look very beautiful. But this what do they call it now? Center alignment is beautiful, but it's not beautiful in my eyes. Look at this right-hand side alignment. This, everything is aligning from the right. I don't like it. I prefer everything to align from the left for me, such as we have it here. And then the space here is something I'm very key and critical about. The space between this place. Some people want to align this thing. They'll go and align it. Look at, they'll go and align something like this. It's starting from the edge of this place. It's looking scattered. And it's starting from from this place. It's not looking good. So what you align it in such a way that you have space here graphically, you have space on top, you have space below, and you have space on this side. So align it to look very neat. That will make the job superb, right? Then let's bring in and the color I'm using is white. I explained something to us. If you are going to use dark color as background, use light color as your text, as the text that will be above. So now we have a light color as a background here where we want to put the scripture reference. We are going to use a dark color as the top, right? So this my graphics, this my thing now. This my graphics template that I'm using. It's ash from the original design, but I can go to adjustment and adjust the color. I can go to adjustment. I can adjust the color. See now, I've adjusted it to blue. This blue color. So you can do many things with this CapCut. You can do a whole lot. So you can see this thing used to be ash color, but now it's blue in nature. So you can do a whole lot of things with this. This is under curve that I did that. Then if you come back to basic, you can decide to just adjust that color. You can make it darker by increasing the contrast. Look at the blue film. You can increase the blue film for it to pop. Look at the blue film. The shadow. This is the shadow. You can drop the shadow. Look at how this thing is looking now. So if we are going to do that, we are going to pick a text that will be here as reference. So John 3:16. So I'm going to this text again. On top here is where I'm dropping my text. So I'm going to tell myself, how long do I want this to appear? Where is it supposed to appear? Where I place my, you can see this. From here to here is where my background, the background that I'm using. From here to here, look at it. The background I'm using for scripture is here. Then my text should also be here. So I want to bring in another of this and drop it for reference. So it should also run from this point to this point. So I will reduce this thing. Then I'm going to drop it here. I want to reduce the size, and then let me drop this John 3:16 here. Then I told us in our last class, always put the version of the King James Version, KJV. If it's amplify, put amplify in brackets. I said this in our last class. I want to make this bold, and then I want to change the color. If I'm going to change the color, this is how I'm going to change the color. I'm going to change the color here. Okay, the color is above. I'm going to change the color here. This is what I'm having. I'm going to change the color to a darker color. Then maybe I want to drop this. I want it to align from the same position as this other one. So this is what we have. It's not aligning very well. So let me say this is what I have. Okay, you can see this. This is what I have. This is what I have for this. This is looking very simple and fine. Looking very simple and fine.
That's the next thing God said.
Looking very simple and fine. So keep it very simple. Keep it very clean. And how did I edit this template? This scripture template, I was watching a video and I saw it and I loved it. And I screenshotted it and kept. Then I designed the graphics. That is this background. I made little adjustment to suit me so that it won't be like the same with the one I saw. So most times I screenshot a whole lot of things whenever I'm working. So this safe margin, I'm going to remove it because I don't need it again. And where's the safe margin? This is the safe margin. I'll just hide it. I don't want to see it again. So it's out. So when you open this eye, to come back. When you close it, it will hide. So this is what we have. This is what we have.
Now what
You can see this. So I believe we are together. I believe we are together. So this is just for sermon editing. Then if somebody is asking me to record, I'm not going to record. This thing is on YouTube. It's on YouTube. So anybody that wants to rewatch it, you'll get it from YouTube, please. Right? Thank you. I don't want to record in the cloud. Let me leave it on YouTube. That's why we have both YouTube and here. So let me even check our audience on YouTube. I don't know if anyone you have question so far from what we've done. So we can. I don't know if you have a question, so we can work on something else for today.
Yeah.
Okay, please. I can hear you.
You get it? Yeah. Okay. I want to appreciate again. Thank you very much. I want to know, like, to where you have the cover, because at time many time when I looking at video, maybe edited video on YouTube, like somebody edit, that you can see some graphic that they can put almost like a cover that they can try to blend in that image. I mean, in that video, but it's not part of the video. It almost looking like they would design it. Yeah, how can you really import that identical graphic? I can always appear. I can show In case if you see the video, your first time seeing it, it can just flash. It's almost like a cover or something. You
Almost
getting
like
me?
a cover. Yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
you. Okay,
yeah,
is this depending on where you want to put it in between your video, is a graphics. There is a correlation, a relationship between graphics and your video editing. So I don't want to bother you if you are not a designer, but me, I'm a designer and I edit videos. So it's helping me a lot. My knowledge of graphics is helping me. So I want you to take basic knowledge of graphics. Just try to watch basic things about graphics. It's going to really impact very well on
yeah.
your video
I
editing
have, I
skill.
have, I have a little idea on graphic. I can normally work in a Draw.
Yeah, I design with CorelDRAW. That's what I design
Yeah,
with majorly.
yeah. That what I can normally use. So like for the what I want to know, like for the video, the recording of the video during the live service in the church, during service time. Which one is preferable to use? Is that landscape or is that portrait that is professional to use? Which one is professional?
Is landscape. Landscape is professional to use. Video landscape, then you can readjust it to portrait later.
Yeah, okay.
Ah,
Mhm.
okay, thank you.
Okay.
Please,
Thank you so
these
much.
my people on Zoom. I want to get your question if you have any. People on YouTube, please, if you have a question, just drop it on the comment section. I'm checking. Please, those on Zoom, you can open your mic and talk to me.
Uh, can I ask a question again?
No, allow other people to ask. Please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Please, the people on Zoom, let's get your question. I'm waiting for us, the people on Zoom. Is it an assumption that there is no question? Okay. Um, I think we'll call it a day here. I'm thinking we should call it a day here, right? I'm thinking we should call it a day here, so that in our next class, we are going to, somebody is still joining by this time. So in our next class, we are going to talk about, we are going to create a reel. We are going to create a reel in our next class. So how do we convert this content to a reel? We create a reel, then we are going to add caption to it. Automate, you can see auto caption, you can add auto caption. Those that add French, after adding English, they also add French. We are going to see how to do that. I will show you how to do that. You can generate two languages, but from my research, most times the French is not really too accurate. So I prefer going to ChatGPT or other AI to go and translate manually, then I'll come and fix them here. So next time I'll have opportunity to teach us video editing. I will announce it before time so that we can complete this our CapCut editing. But tomorrow, Mr. Henry is going to continue his class on Premiere Pro, right? He's going to continue his class on Premiere Pro. So tomorrow, 8:30, Mr. Henry will be live with us. And tomorrow, the Cast Arrow, our partners, Cast Arrow, they are going to be live from 5:30 p.m. Nigerian time. So I want every one of us to be live for that class. It's going to be, these are leading guys in broadcasting. So you are going to be learning a lot from them. And I don't want to talk much about them, but I want you to witness the class live. Please, I'm begging us, let's be available for that class. Yes, let's be available for that class. I'm still in between opinion if we should use Zoom. so that you can ask them question, or if we should use YouTube. But I'm thinking we may still use like this, both Zoom and YouTube, so that you can ask question as you want to ask. So let's see how that goes. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your time here with me this evening, the time we are here learning together. And I trust that God will help us with everything we are trying to achieve. Like I will always tell us, we are trying to see how we can support as many churches as possible. In case you have ideas how to improve what we are doing, don't forget or don't hesitate to come to my DM and give me your idea. And by God's grace, we are making a whole lot of progress. There are a whole lot of things that we are modifying as we are progressing. And by God's grace, everything is going to work out perfectly fine by the end of the day. And the 2.0 class, we're already working on it also. The 2.0, everybody on the 1.0 can still participate on it. We are going to be teaching graphic design fully on 2.0, and then some other courses, social media management, we are going to be teaching that on 2.0. So I really want to appreciate every one of us. Thank you so much for your time. Today has really been hectic. I'm so exhausted. Thank you, everyone. God bless you. It seems we don't have question. Can I go ahead to end? I'm checking. People on YouTube, there is no question.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Hello.
do you still have a question? Thomas?
Yeah.
Okay, just
You
ask
get
one
it?
more. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to recommend to you. It's not like question. Yeah. You getting me?
Yeah, I'm with you, sir.
Yeah. So that you are talking about, although we started with the Premium and we dealt with CapCut today. So I'm
Mm,
recommending that. Yeah, I'm recommending that it would be preferable to me that at least that we can continue with one, like even for the CapCut, that we can finish it before that we can get to maybe the Premium. It should be a gradual process, bit by bit. We should do it in a kind of sequence. It should not be randomly,
okay.
so some all can be confused because do they want today, don't do the other one, or those other people may have the capacity for a, but like for people
Mm,
who just get it in the system to, at least it will not really be okay for them. So appealing to you, if you can really work on it, it's just my recommendation.
okay, sir. Thank you
Mm.
so much. I really appreciate that. So I'll speak with the instructor tomorrow. Let me see how it goes. If I'll come to a conclusion with him, then I will announce on the group if we are continuing with the CapCut or the Premiere Pro. We continue tomorrow.
Okay, okay, no problem.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. God bless everyone. Thank you. Have a blessed
Okay,
night. Okay, good
okay,
night.
God bless you too.
Okay, thank you.